heavy tonight, in a realm where the sun fades behind the fight. Every scar is a story, every tear is a flame. In this game of survival, nothing stays the same. We break, we fall, but we rise again. Through shattered hopes and the cries of men. Through the darkness, through the pain, we'll build again. We'll stand through the rain. The trials may come, but I won't bow. This is my fight and I'll make it somehow. The road is long, the nights are cold, but the dreams I carry burn like gold. In the chaos, I found my place, a spark of hope in the empty space. We've lost so much, we've given more, but through the trials we'll restore. Through the darkness, through the pain, we'll build again. We'll stand through the rain. The trials may come, but I won't bow. This is my fight and I'll make it somehow. Every fall, we learn to stand. Through the darkness, through the pain, we'll build again. We'll stand through the rain. The trials may come, but I won't bow. This is my fight and I'll make it somehow. Make it somehow. Make it somehow.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pax Dei, Emphyr Search for Steel. Tonight, I've done a lot of adventuring today. I'm going to do a little bit more and start leveling and skilling tonight. So we'll do that as we look at gaming strategies and insights first. And then we will look at leadership philosophy. And we will look at a little bit of preparation for the new year. So it's going to be fun. Of course, I am just finishing up some stuff, and of course, since I don't know if my mic is working or not, and it is, so we'll continue. Awesome. Looks like my kbps is a little bit slower tonight, so I'm hoping I don't have any issues. Well, we'll see. Let's see what happens. I'm also waiting for my what do we call it? ChatGPT to load up, and we can look at a couple different things. So one of the questions off the bat is, what is the most challenging aspect of working within a team in Pax Dei, and how do you overcome it? So let's throw that into what's the most challenging aspect of working with teams, period, in the real world and in games. And how do you overcome it? So one of the things in Pax Day is the engagement between clans and people, right? So currently we're in alpha, or not, excuse me, not alpha, early access. Early access, you have a lot of players in different sections of the map. So if we look at the map, you'll notice this is just one landmass in the world. There's, I think, 4 other landmasses like this, and then there's a central PvP area. And there's even a central area where I think a wyvern is going to be the monster that is going to be the one that you're going to have to defeat eventually when the game comes out. That's the rumor. I think that's a true rumor, but the devs haven't gotten that far. So we have Gale, where I live. We have Ulad. We have Ardbog. We have Down. We have Shire. Wit. And then everything inside, and it's hard to see, but this area here, and if you trace it down along this river and lake sequence, all the way down to the bottom until you see Wit, excuse me, is surrounded by the wilds, is what they call. This whole map is called the Merry or Merry Wildlands. We have a lot of wildlands, the ancient forest being in the southeast, very difficult area. And of course the southwest, which is a very difficult area. If you're playing the game, you have areas that will provide or be provided a level measuring, which is done by the skull, right? So if you're in the Whispering Woods, it's a level 4. So if you can handle level 4 stuff, great. You have border fortresses, which is just basically a portal to the other realms. Imperial ruins, ancient ruins, caverns, all these, ruined mill, all these have different aspects to the map. And included in those aspects is Inquisition, Lost Souls, and Zebians. They are the 3 PvE players, or PvE opportunities for players. And they get tougher depending on where you are. For example, I'll be going into, where am I going today? It's the wetlands, I think. And it's drowned lands. So it's a 2, so I'm not really worried about it. I'll go on my leather armor. The Pale is where I pick up if you are coming back from other, or have seen me in other shows. You'll have seen me gone to the Pale and the Forsaken Forest. I can take that fairly easily. Not easily, but fairly easily. When I get to the Whispering Woods, I can still take it, but it's not the best for me. The Corrupted Plains are almost impossible for me. But I can navigate them at a minimum. So that's the map in a nutshell. In the area that I'm playing, there's 4 other maps that are PvE, and then 1 other map that's PvP. I stick to the PvP or PvE areas, and they are marked by these border fortresses with the gate that doesn't have any swords. So there's one there. I believe there's one down here, and there's the PvE. So there's 2 gates or 2 fortresses that go to a different land. And each of the crumbled fortresses, they provide, mostly it's tough to get to them, but it's fun to get to them. It's the journey, right? So with all of that said, let us get out of the map. I was going to make some potions. So I need water. And the potions I was going to make should be... Oh, what am I missing? It should be the healing potion. Oh, vials. I need vials, not large vials. That's right. Tiny vials, small vials, large vial, large vial. Here's vials. I make a lot of large vials because I'm going to take these because I'm going to make some other things. Because the large vials are increasing my blacksmithing, so it's great. But I do need just to make vials, honestly, because I'm starting to need them for my alchemy. And right now I have 500,000 before I skill up to level 27, so I'm going to have to... and every time I miss, I miss vials. The extracts aren't too hard to get, honestly. So... But I do use the healing potions, so I do like to ensure that I have plenty of healing potions in my inventory. I did get this elegant stink horn. Not sure what it's used for, but I'm sure it's used for the potions that are not found yet. So let's go downstairs. I know I have some fool's mushrooms. It's called fool's webcat. Let me check. I can't remember what it's called. I know what it looks like though. Ah, here it is. Yeah, fool's webcat. And I'll take those all upstairs because they're useful. The bladder companion is used for vitality, and it's a useful one for sure. And now I can make the extract, so long as I have the coal, bowls, and the water. I've been working with a clan, and they've been really good people. And they want me to join. I'm considering it. Very much so. I think it's a good opportunity to expand the podcast as well, because I'll be providing information to everybody about the different aspects of Pax Dei that I was not able to do previously. Alright, let's see. What do I want to do real quick? I want to... Oh, I created this over here so it's easier. And I think that jewelry, archery, clay, and I got some extracts down here. I'm running out of room for things that I'm finding, but I'm not. It's easier to find stuff when you're in the harder areas and bring it back than it is to mark it and then go back and get it. What was it, the other thing I was looking for? Oh, the glass. The glass is over here. And I started on my house a little bit, so I will let people know. Rough glass. I got these small vials, but they're for potions that are... I don't need them. Rough glass is for small vials, tiny vials, that kind of thing. And the pure glass hasn't happened yet, but I know I'm going to need it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that... Make sure I made that area a little bit better. And I think I'm going to need to... I think I have the iron ingots in here. If not, this is where they're going. I'm going to have to label that too. Organization, whether it's in your daily life or in game, makes your life less stressful. So keep that in mind as you're going through this. You might not be the perfect person to organize every aspect. You don't have to be. We talked a little bit about goal setting last night, one of the goals you could set is just to make a list of what you're going to do, but make sure that list is reasonable. Oh, I'm going over here. Unfortunately, instead of making large vials, I have to make normal vials. I have to. It's less experience points, but if I want to make any more potions, I'm going to need them. And it's 25 for the large and 20 for the just the normal vials. It's weird. Every so often there's a glitch, but that's okay. We can look past that. All right, so right now, and this is the other thing, I was joking with one of the people who I might join the clan with. He's trying to recruit me. Great guy. But one of the things I told him I'm not exactly ready for a clan. I'm not near as skilled enough. He's like, don't worry, we're all beginners. We're not worried about that. We'll define our roles within the clan as we move forward, which is exactly what we've been talking about in a lot of the podcasts that I've been doing. Is the roles. You are not going to be a master of everything. You can try, and eventually you will, if you can keep the character throughout the entire life of the game. One of the things that you'll have to do in early access, once they flip the switch, they're going to you're going to have to start over. So everything I'm doing now is great, but I'm going to have to start over from scratch. And that's okay too, honestly. There's things I've learned, different paths I'd take, all kinds of different things that I would do because I've learned a little bit about a lot of different things, honestly. All right, let's see. I got 4 of these, huh? That's good. I'll take these out here. They don't need to be there. They can be somewhere else. Not there. Not there. Not there. It's kind of weird, but I'm going to put them in here because I want to move them from the area. Efficiency is one way you'll skill faster. If you're not skilling fast, it's because you're walking around trying to find stuff or gathering. Well, gathering is part of the equation. Let me say it that way. Let's get into our home here. There we go. Look at all that jewelry. I made it. I need to start jewelry again, honestly. Do is place everything here. There. Alright. Now that I'm ready, I need my hammer, because I'm going to show you a little bit of building stuff, because I do need to make a cabinet. And I might as well do that one here. I'm lagging just a little bit, so I'm kind of hesitant to go and battle stuff. But that's, again, that's okay. That's what we decide to do. Interesting. Now I have cabinets. I'm trying to keep the really fine cabinets to the tailoring because it's just a cool little plan aspect. And then I'll put them back to back. And I like to be near perfect. Doesn't have to be perfect. Ah, it's there. There we go. All right. So I got another cabinet for tailoring, and let's just give you an update on where I am. I'm pretty much up at level 20, except for baking or winemaking and brewing. As a matter of fact, let's go do that. I have plenty of stuff that I can start the winemaking and brewing stuff. I think I have enough malt at this point in time that we can do that. Now, within a clan, you could have a role that is a hunter-gatherer, right? Which is perfect. You want hunter-gatherers. I think I need honey. Definitely honey. I don't think it's yeast. It's definitely water. Honey. What else was it? Can't remember now. Let me go look. Gonna be... No, not that. I thought I had a malt something I needed. What was the malt for? Oh, to make the cloudy ale base, maybe? Let me see if I can make the cloudy ale base. Cloudy ale base takes malt, yeast, and water. So I can put this on anyway. I'm just not ready for it yet. If you memorize stuff, I mean, you can for sure, but it's not necessary. I need yeast, malt, yeast. I know I got yeast somewhere in here. Yeast. Water. There we go. Alright. And I know I got more yeast somewhere. It's malt. There's yeast. I'll leave the malt in there. Here. Cloudy. Let's see how many I can get. I need more malt. And I have it. It's almost like I planned for it. No, I didn't. I knew I needed it, but I didn't think it would take that much. That's a lot of malt. There we go. Cloudy. Boom. Done. Now I could put everything in here. And one thing that... Is this farmhouse cider? It is. So I can replenish that while I'm here. So they got the fermenter doing that. My basic fermenter. Water and rye flour. I don't think I have... Oh, rye flour. I think I have rye flour. Barley flour. Might not have rye flour. Wheat flour. Baking isn't really useful. Not yet. I mean, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. There are uses for it. It's just not useful. Huh. I have sworn I had rye. I dropped it like several times in the in areas where I guess I should have taken it. That's oat grain. I gotta get grains out of here. That's barley stalks. That's used for cooking. It's not used for anything. There's rye grain, but it's only one Let's see if I have any rye grain in here. Nope. Nope. Ah, there's some rye. Okay. We'll go make some flour. I think you just need the rye grain. Oat flour? What I'm looking for is rye flour. There's one more. There we go. This. Oat flour. More oat flour. So I was really trying to make oat flour. I don't know why. Let's do that. Oat flour, wheat flour. Kind of dividing it with the stalk. Alright. Oh, we got more rye. Good, good, good. Put that in there because we don't need more oat, but we certainly could use more rye flour. This is the targeting system of the game. Yeah, I don't think I have enough for... It's 20. Let's see if 20 is good enough for one. Yeah, 20 is perfect for one. Awesome. Alright, so let's get back to the conversation. So you have, just like any other role-playing game or MMO, you want people in your clan to specialize into different aspects of an adventuring party. So you want your healer, you want your tanks, you want your DPS, right? You really want to understand. In Pax Dei, there's actually a nice layer to it, and this is a theory. I haven't been able to prove any of this just yet, and I might join this clan to do this as well. There's a couple things I want to try with the clan that may or may not be useful for me. They are a great bunch of people. So that's one thing I can certainly say in Pax Dei. I have not met anyone who's really negative. Now, there was that one PvP incident back in when I first started mining pure iron ore in the PvP area, where the guy, even though I was running away from him, decided to rob me. I'm not going to mince words. They robbed me. I tried to run away from them. So that should have been an indication I didn't want PvP, but okay. I was in the PvP area. I took responsibility, but last time I was going back. Tell you that. Alright, let's check. I want to make sure. Got baking, level 18, cooking. Let's see what I need for baking. Let's see if I need anything. Oh, oat dough and tallow. So that's why I wanted all the oat. Let's see if I have any oat dough first. Storage isn't a premium, but there is a finite storage here. Wheat dough, wheat flour. There's oat dough, oat dough, oat dough. Nothing there. Nothing there. Oh, I just looked at this, didn't I? Yeah, this is all wheat. 2-star. That's my... Yeah, oat dough is 1-star. So, easy to find once I do find it. Let's go get some oat flour and make some more oat dough. There we go. I'll do that and go ahead and... I think I need yeast. I should have picked up the yeast. I wasn't thinking. To make dough, you need yeast. And if you ever get an opportunity to make your fresh bread yourself, do so. It's fun. It's great. All right, so back to the roll coordination. So the theory is you have your tanks with shields and heavy armor up front. In the second row, you have your spearmen. Two-handed spear would be great. They have an extended reach, and they have a power strike, which is really good. So that would be good for there. And then in the third, you have your healer or healers, and you can also have your archer. So party is 6, remember. So you can take multiple parties into a dungeon. You just have to have them in groups of 6. So you can really form 2 squads, essentially, right? So is a squad 6? Anyway, so you can form those squads and then go into the dungeon with 2 squads or 12 people and use this to the best of your ability. You might want 2 healers or even 3. The archer, depending on your archery and the arrows, you can get a good volley of arrows that are, and you can get incoming enemies and soften them up before they hit your front line. So archers are very valuable in 2 different ways. In my build, I'm a little bit different. So in my build, we have blocking. It comes very quickly up to 40. Bows, I hunted with bows, so bows really just got to 40 fairly quickly for me, but I'm really good at bows. You have the polearms, which I'm at 23. Great swords, I'll be at 40. I just need to get to be able to build a greatsword, and right now I need to make steel. I want the next level of greatsword. I can make the other level, but it's not as... I want the next level. Hand spears, I'm at 40 already. Wow, I didn't realize that. And swords, I'm at 35. So, hand swords, 35. Great axe is 14. So, as you move into... I would be a good... great swords were great for crowd control, and then they took that away. So, your tank could probably use a great sword. But I would... Honestly, I would want your tank to have a shield. Blocking with a greatsword is fine. However, blocking with shield is better. You don't take near as much damage. Hand spears, you can do a shield. So you can have your front line with shield and one-handed spears. And that would be a good tank line as well, because spears are fast, they're quick. So these are all strategies, right? So you assign the roles, but here's the key to Pax Dei. In Pax Dei, you really want people to choose their own path. You don't want to say, okay, we need you to do X because X, right? We don't need you to do anything, so don't enjoy the game. We need this, right? And a lot of different groups will, and like I said, I haven't met anybody like that, but a lot of different groups will be like, yeah, we'll just, whatever you want to do, and we'll accommodate, come up with a strategy based off what you want to play. And that's really what we look for, right? I need talent. And that's cool. That would be, and let's grow this to the IRL, right? In a business, you're looking for people, and I highly advise this for hiring managers, because it really upsets me when I see this and the hiring manager is like, the hiring manager should be looking at the team as a whole. End of story. Right? Well, okay. For Tallow, but I think Tallow is suing. See? Yeah, let's do it. Oh, it's craft all the way. So, ultimately, you are crafting your character roleplay it. It's a role-playing game, really. You don't have to do a role-playing game, but this complexity of Pax Dei will offer
different occupations. You can become the town alchemist, and how you can go to other people and say, "Hey, you're a fighter. Have you ever encountered this herb or this mushroom? I need it. I'll pay good money." Right? You can basically, you are setting, the game is setting up for creation of an adventurer's guild. A clan could set up an adventurer's guild and say, "Hey, come to us. We're not going to stock anything. We'll have some things that are stocked, but you can pay us a set amount for us to go adventure, get what you need, bring it back." Awesome concept, right? There's no other aspects to this, right? And if you're a good adventurous guild and trusted, it would be awesome, right? So these are the aspects of the game they've left open for us, and I think if the developers leave that open to us, we will have a great game on release. If they close off any of those, I'm fearful for the game, because honestly, the game is going to be awesome if you allow players to craft or engineer or design their character in a way to provide them, like if they wanted to be a mage, they can pursue that path. There's all kinds of paths to pursue, but combat strategies, because mages are in there, so your long range would be in the third tier. Archer is what I'm using as an example, but there's also mages and such. So keep that in mind as we're going through this evolution. The biggest thing I could say is, when you're battling groups of things, you want to surround them, flank them. It works to your advantage. Because the target can't block if they're able to block. They're not able to block from the flank. This is the same for you. So keep that in mind as you're fighting groups of monsters in a tight space. Your tanks are going to take the brunt of the front damage, but if you have the option of bringing around to the flanks damage to the monsters or to the enemy, highly advise using strategy. And that's another aspect to this game I really like, is the strategic part of the game. It doesn't have to be just brute force, I'm going to take the damage. Blocking is key. However, blocking also takes stamina. So your front lines has to have a high stamina and a high health. So that's going to formulate or create the necessity for cooks, for people with high cooking, for your clan. So you could have, if you wanted to, be the cook for your clan and be like, yeah, it's I'm all about this. And I'm just noticing that, what do I got? Am I getting, okay. I was thinking I got 1 stack per success. I'm like, oh my god, this is horrible. Well, just a side note, as I'm leveling up, you have to create, I'm doing a moderately hard skill, so I'm getting a lot more experience points than just doing the simple. I can do the simple white bread, and it's very easy for me. Another aspect, if you haven't seen my podcasts, they give you the terminology, so you don't have to break character while you're talking to somebody. You can say, trail pies are trivial for me, or simple white bread, very easy. Plain oat bread, I'm moderately good at getting that out, right? So you can use these adjectives to craft the story without breaking character, which I think is phenomenal. Okay, let's see. So leveling. From my understanding, every time you hit with a weapon, you get 100 experience points. So you have to hit. Your weapon will take damage, and you'll have to do durability, weapon maintenance, which I think is a great aspect to the game as well. Ultimately, what we're looking at is you want to. Oh, hold on. Let me reset. The harder the monster, the more hits it takes to kill it. For example, a level 34. Let me say it this way. Level 25 black bear will take a lot of hits, but a level 34 gray bear will take double or triple the amount of hits. So keep that in mind as you're starting your leveling technique. And if you're the higher level monsters will take more hits to defeat. They're tougher, right? So skilling with a weapon will either take higher level, which will take more hits, or if you don't want to attempt that and you're a lower level anyway, kill the level 5s and level 14s and stuff like that. But it's going to take a lot more hits on those, right? So keep that in mind as you're moving through this this XP efficiency for techniques. Now, when you're farming, there's different aspects. The game has enough PvE that you can run to the PvE at all the time. If I fail again, that's almost like crazy. Jeez. Something's going on. I shouldn't be failing this many times. Look at that. That's 5 in a row, 6 in a row, 7 in a row now. Oh, okay. Finally. Oh my god. Alright. Anyway. So, balancing quests, crafting, and exploration. You don't really have to balance exploration so much because as you explore, you're going to get crafting materials and encounter things you need. So you're going to pick them up, mark them on the map. So exploration is fun. Crafting will kind of evolve in and of itself, and quests are just for a clan. You just can go and have a ball, right? You can have that fun with a lot of your friends, and your quote-unquote quests aren't written down so much as if another clan was like, hey guys, we need this particular metal, or I get iconography from this one PvE tribe. We're willing to pay this much, but we can't do it. Go do it. Yeah, they could even give you a time limit if they wanted. Probably not. But it would be kind of cool to have that as a role-playing technique. The best way to look at managing inventory and trading resources is once you level up past a resource that's valuable to you, give it away. You don't need it anymore. And I say that on only a few skills. Meaning, if in baking, those barley stalks, I should just get rid of or give them to somebody who needs them to level up, because I won't really need barley stalks. You know what? I'm already failing so much on this. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane how much I'm failing. I usually don't fail that much. That was a lot of failures. Alright, well, what I'm going to do is, I don't need this bread, so I'm going to feed the fish. Feeding fish. Aye. I went through all that tallow as I was failing left and right. So sucks. That was harsh. Alright. You can probably see the time dilation, because there's been a lot of people moving into the area. And what I'm doing here is inventory management so I can free up some slots. Man, do I really not have that much suet? I've been throwing suet away because I've been hunting and I just been throwing it away. I don't need it as much. Now here we go. Animal fat. There's suet. Oh, I need tallow. let's put it. There we go. I'll do that. It's 53.7. We'll make 3 stacks, 4 stacks of 50. Call it a day. All right, now we should have plenty. See how many I can make. Or maybe. Okay, I only have 24,000 to go to level 19. I'm really wanting to get to level 19. All right, so managing inventory, especially when you get back at your house, just like I was doing, make sure your stacks are at the top. If there's a few left over, that's fine, as long as you have the inventory room. You saw as many boxes as I do. Partly I do the wrought iron boxes because it takes up resources that I don't have to store for higher level stuff. So I don't really care so much about the quote unquote wasted resources because they look good. I could have tons and tons of decorated boxes. It's just not worth it to me to do that. So it's much more worth it to me to stylize my home. So let's go with a question so we can keep a little audience interaction here. What's your go-to strategy for managing resources or parties in Pax Dei, or even if you're looking at work? Let's throw it in work as well. All right, so we talked about how motivation works, and I just want to expand upon that today because I think I spent a lot of time on dopamine, which is good. Dopamine is the chemical that will create that drive for us to succeed or to finish something, right? To finally, it'll trigger when we're done. Intrinsic and extrinsic motivation is important. What drives us in the game versus life, right? A lot of time what drives us in the game is we want to level up. We want to enjoy time with our friends. We want to go adventure. We want to see new things. We want to create a podcast based off of the stuff that we encounter. Maybe YouTube shorts or some kind of entertainment where something silly happens and you record it during your session. These are all motivating factors to play a game, right? To build community. We got it. We'll keep going. But the ultimately what we're doing is we're crafting certain goals, achievable goals that will provide us the, oh yeah, I got it, boom, right? So we get that dopamine rush. Every time we see that, or every time we do that, the dopamine flows, and that gives us positive reinforcement to do it again. My motivation for this year is to set realistic, small bite goals. I don't want to set a large goal anymore. I've done enough research where enough people, enough experts, enough research has come out saying you're defeating yourself if you have this large goal. I'm going to save the world. Large goal. How about I'm going to wake up tomorrow and make my bed? That's a small goal, and it's achievable. I believe it was Jordan Peterson who first really popularized that, but he's not wrong, right? The small steps, the successes, small successes at the beginning of the day make the rest of the day that much easier, right? And you look forward to it. You're not defeated, right? And that's the other aspect to setting small goals and motivation. Even in Pax Dei, one of the things that I continually tell new players is don't focus on your level. Levels will come. It will take time. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy the quest for the materials that will create or eventually achieve the goal of the next level. Like I just got baking 19. Not really worried about 20, but I'm gonna go for it because we're talking, right? I might need to go get some rye. You know what I'm saying? In order to finish off this, or oat, excuse me. I might need more oat in order to finish off this stuff. But the ultimate goal is to enjoy yourself, and that can be done in small bites, so to speak, small goal achievements. Thank you. Small achievements, like just wading out into the water and looking around, taking the time to see what the devs have provided us. It's amazing. People that have goals created an entire world for us to explore. It's amazing. Love it. And why not? Enjoy it. And it goes the same for the real world. Take the time to go outside or travel to a park. It's the journey, not a destination that you're gonna like. And you craft the journey. Yeah, we never do this in movie pants and action pictures in the real world. So yes, there is that. Let's see if I have any more dough. Dough. Tallow. Why I have tallow around here? Let's see what else we got. Nothing there. There. Wheat dough, wheat flour. Wheat flour, but it's only 7. We can move it into there. What am I missing? Yeah, yeast. Oh, let's see if I got yeast over here. And here's yeast. I'll throw it in there just because I'm gonna need it. Be surprised if I don't have any more rye dough. Oh, flour. There we go. There we go. We can make more dough. We can get some water. Get that in there. Talk while it's being made. So I can't enunciate, or let's see, I can't. What's a good word for it? Impress upon you enough that goal setting for motivation is important. Identify your burnouts and strategies for reigniting the enthusiasm. So burnout is a big thing today, and it's mostly because you don't get the, in my opinion, it's mostly because you don't get the actual reward at the end. Right? Burnout is a component of said burnout, right? If you don't have the achievements, if you don't have the successes, if you only have failures, your motivation starts to dwindle, you start to get burned out. However, with failure, I want people to start thinking about failure as achieving something. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but if you fail at something, you learn from that failure. You should be happy that you failed, so you learn. If you mastered something completely immediately, you wouldn't have any motivation to do it. Your motivation is to achieve mastery. Let's take, for example, I'm just looking at the wheat dough and tallow. White bread. Didn't I do? Oh, I did simple white bread. Okay. All right. So I have plenty. Okay. So we probably can go up another level, given the amount of stuff we have. So if we look at of how motivation works and overcoming the demotivation, and I don't want to really call it demotivation because you should be creating goals that are achievable. If you start creating goals that you can't achieve, take that goal and break it into smaller components. And once you get to the smallest component, if you still can't achieve victory, then there might be there's going to need to be conversation around the balance between challenging fun and something you just need to move on from, right? And some things that we should identify, and sometimes we don't leave after we've failed so many times that we're like, I don't think I'll get this, but we continue to do it, whether that's motivated by somebody else going, no, you can do it, which is great. Thank you for believing in me. But at the same time, where are you better able to spend your resources? Because we're finite, right? We have a finite amount of time. We have a finite amount of resources. Not all of us can go to pick up college courses in order to really hone our skill in chemistry or hone our skill in biology or hone our skill, and that's what college is for, the sciences, right? Writing, you can learn from AI. Coding, you can learn from AI. Languages, you can learn from AI. Most things you can learn from AI. Now, I did a paper in LinkedIn, and it was expertise versus experience. Or what was it? Expert versus. Yeah, I think it was experience. Boy, it's been a while since I wrote the paper. I gotta write another one. But my point is, when you write a paper like that, one of the defining factors between an expert and an experienced person is the expert is tested. Not to say the experienced person isn't tested. We're talking about formal testing, right? And therefore, if you're an expert in your field, let's say a doctor, a medicine. Somebody could be experienced medically. We see it all the time. Nurses are very experienced medically. They have a certain amount of degree, but they don't have a doctor level education. Who's the expert? Well, the doctor is considered the expert, but the nurse has a lot of experience and a lot of practical experience. So you would be remiss not to listen to that experience as an expert. Even as an expert, you might have information for that experienced person that you can share that might change the experienced person's viewpoint. However, our society, for some reason, promotes experts to this infallible status, and that's wrong, because many times doctorate level thesis try to prove their thesis wrong, and if it does, it adds to the body of knowledge, meaning we can't go down this path. We need to find another path. And if you have enough paths you can't follow, there's only a few paths you can follow, therefore you're adding to the body of knowledge. So this expert and experience, when we're talking about motivation, we're talking about knowledge, we're talking about how you get this experience, don't think for an instance that back in time, at the very founding of the United States, or even, let's say, the 1500s to the 1800s, how many colleges were there? Right? There were a few. There were places of learning. But for the most part, Pythagoras and Aristotle and Plato and Confucius. Well, I'm not sure about Confucius, but I know on the Greek side, did they go to schools? Some of them went to mentorships, and that expanded their knowledge base for sure. But a lot of it was observation, formulas, imagination, observation, just different things. We can do the same thing today. We don't need to go to MIT to be the next AI creator. We just need to sit down and read everything we can and accept or write about everything we can about AI, and even start coding some AI neural networks and such things like that. So there's paths that we are told you'll never do that. That cuts your motivation in Twain or in two. I'm playing Pax Dei, so Twain was in my mind. But my point being is, don't listen to naysayers. Naysayers will always be there. They will always tell you it's not possible. They will always tell you you're not smart enough. They will tell you, get rid of those people in your life. There's no reason to listen to them. If you want to keep them in your life, that's fine. But don't listen to them. You don't have to listen to them. There's a fine line between people that you should listen to and people who are there just to provide negative feedback. If you go into business and you learn everything, or you don't learn much, you start your business and you fail, and you're like, oh man, I see where I could have done this better, I could have done that better. If somebody comes up to you and says, as you're starting a next business, says, you failed in that last business, why are you starting a new business? That person has no value to your ambition, to your motivation. So I would recommend, politely, if you'd like to, if they're close to you, politely say, look, I understand where you're coming from. I learned from this and this and this. I would caution you to be honest with yourself, because if they're bringing something up, they might see something you don't, and that's fine. Take what they say, measure it, evaluate it, and then determine if you need to answer it to yourself with enough information that provides you with a successful outcome. Be honest with yourself, because that's the only person you need to be honest with. Fully honest. I'm talking about brutally honest. One thing you shouldn't listen to is that little voice inside your head that says, don't, you cannot, you're not good enough. These are all negative factors that are preventing you from being your best self. Many motivating speakers will tell you the same, and it is imperative that you look at yourself as the arbiter of your future, because you are. Nobody else is going to give you the future that you want. I'm pausing for dramatic effect because there are situations like Pax Dei. You're not going to do everything yourself. You're going to have to rely on others, and that's okay. Pick those relationships based off of experience, but also based off of necessity. Be upfront, be honest with people, be nice to people, be kind to people, because when you are, they're going to give you 100%. Let's translate this into the real world. If you're a leader in companies, if you're honest with people, people will give you 100%. If you are beating around the bush, providing false information to get something done sooner than expected, these are all things that will, in short time, provide a negative experience to the person, and they should be cutting ties with you. If you're a bad leader and they need the job, they're going to be looking internally for another position within the company. There is an old saying, and I did an episode on these just sayings, but this is kind of true. It kind of rings true. That's why it's funny. People don't leave positions; they leave managers. A good leader will motivate people. A good leader will motivate the people with small goals, short goals, with actual successes. Not necessarily pay, because let's face it, lower tier managers or leaders aren't going to be able to give you bonuses or raises. They could, they have potential to do so, but it's not an all the time thing. So, what could you do? Food's out, guys. Any leader out there, please stop giving people food. It may motivate some people, and that's fine. Those people are, if that's what motivates those people, there's no judgment here. I'm just saying there are very few and far between, small percentage of people in the workforce that were like, yeah, I love those free drinks that we only got one night last quarter for the thing that I don't know why we got them. We just got them as a team, so I don't feel too select. You know what I mean? So keep those in mind as you're looking at, because motivation as a using the tool motivation as a leader. Looking at Pax Day, you have the same type of mechanisms, right? And the same type of relationship with people that you meet. Let's face it, in Pax Day, if I want my clan to do something, how do you motivate? Well, one, you're kind to them. Two, you might help them out in an area where they're struggling. That might provide that bump in motivation for them to do something that they might not necessarily have done other than returning kindness. And that's okay. That's still a motivating factor. The goals have to be set. And I think IRL as a leader, it's so important that you look at the goals and you set achievable goals, small, incremental, achievable goals, and definitely get that increment in. First step is A, second step is B, third step is C, fourth step is completion. And throughout that entire goal, for the team, everybody that meets A, celebrate. Everybody that meets B, celebrate. Find good ways to celebrate. Same thing with Pax Day. Same thing with Pax Day. Find ways to celebrate victories. It doesn't have to be bonuses or gold or anything like that. It may be in Pax Day, actually. It can be like a rare piece of jewelry that somebody makes for somebody else. Or perhaps it's a rare clothing item or a high-level clothing item that somebody makes for somebody else. These are all good motivators in the game because it's a role-playing game. You want to look good. In the real world, maybe it's a leader, instead of giving you a monetary, well, it's still monetary, but perhaps they take out of their own pocket and they're saying, hey, go to this beauty shop or boutique or men's warehouse or something to that effect and say, hey, go get yourself something nice to wear. You deserve it. You deserve to treat yourself. And a lot of people don't treat themselves to nice clothing. Why? Because they have bills to pay. They're like, or kids, or the odd out of left field expense that they were like, I was gonna get a new shirt, but I can't get a new shirt. Things like that aren't out of the corporate store. That are actually, and please don't, if you're going to give somebody something like that, don't look at it like it's, oh, here's $25. You're not going to get anything nice for $25. Right? So if you're going to provide a quote unquote monetary gift card, give them a gift card where they like to shop as well. Ask them. It doesn't have to be a surprise. And this is another thing that I think we as leaders fall short. Ask them, hey, say, I want to get you a gift card. I think you would look good in this suit. Where do you like to shop? And you might lay, I don't wear suits. All right, what would you want to get nice for yourself to where, right? You have the conversation. It might be as a friend too, because a good leader could become friends with the person, and that doesn't mean that the leader is responsible. You know, in the case of, oh, you would lay off your friend. No, that's not. You never have that type of relationship. You can't. You are unable to. Do I think I need water? So these are little things to think about in Pax Dei or in real life. Leaders don't necessarily have to be your friends. It's not the point I'm trying to make. What I'm trying to make is they can be human to you, right? Did I get something extra? Yeah, we do. I guess. Yeah. Anyway. So as you're looking at these things, I want you to be a leader and create these motivational ties. A lot of people are intellectual in motivation. It doesn't necessarily. Some people like monetary compensation, but it only lasts a little bit. Try to get deeper with them. Have conversations with them. Try to pick their brains. What do they really like? What would really motivate them? Watch them. Observe how they act, what they're happy about, what they're sad about, and ask them. Don't think you can't ask. If somebody says, hey, I don't want to tell you, say, okay, the only reason I was asking was A, B, and C. And they might be like, oh, well, thank you for thinking of me, but I don't want to talk about that in particular. And you say, that's fine, that's great. How can I motivate you? What is good motivation for you? What's a positive thing I can do for you to get you on board? Whether that's in Pax Dei or an MMO or in work entirely. These are leadership aspects. And I think a lot of people forget that we are human first, with all the frailties emotionally, physically. You don't need to know, especially at work, you don't need to know all of this. But maybe you want to have that conversation in order to provide the person with the ability to communicate what they want. It's as simple as that. And don't get offended by the questions. You might be in a fragile mental state. Know your mental state. If somebody comes up to you, and they might come up to you wrong because their mental state might be in such a way where they want to get this done, and they don't prepare themselves for the conversation, and they just blurt it out, and you're like, wow, that was really intrusive. What the hell? So you get defensive. Hold off on the defensive. And try. If we want to make a world where people come up and talk to each other and communicate with each other and truly have that human connection. Now, you might not like somebody, but tell them that. But also, if there's a chance for them to redeem themselves, give them the opportunity, or even tell them how they're going to redeem themselves. If they're not in a position like that, tell them that as well and say, hey, look, you did a couple things that I'd rather not. Well, actually, let me stop right there. You have to tell them what they did, because if they failed at something, they need the ability to think about what they failed at and improve themselves, right? So keep that in mind as we're going through life and we're doing, we're in these games. We're looking at avatars in the games. We're looking at co-workers at work. More importantly, we're looking at human beings. We're interacting with human beings, right? We're always going to be looking at or feeling something. So let's go into the next topic. What? And ask me any questions on that, because this is really the core of leadership is humanity. I really believe that. So please, in the comments, if you have something, or if you catch me on X post, read my LinkedIn articles. There's a lot of good stuff there. There's a lot of good stuff there. It's time that we take the age of reason back. The age of reason had people were able to disagree but communicate their disagreements, sometimes come to a different conclusion together, or sometimes they couldn't make a conclusion, or they stayed with their own conclusions, but they were still talking to one another. They still bounced ideas off one another. So let's see. Let's go to the next topic. Hard break here. What inspires creative thinking? So the first thing for creative thinking is there has to be a connection between curiosity, the problem solving, and the innovation. When we creatively think, normally you see a problem and you try to solve it, you try to innovate it in order to fix the problem. So in Pax Dei, you have rules of the game. You have to play within those rules. That clan I was talking about earlier that wants me to join, one of me and another person in the clan were talking about how certain rules of chests worked, and we were trying to figure out a way to use the rules to our advantage, right? All good stuff. We ultimately couldn't innovate around it, but we did come up with how things worked in general. So it was a good conversation. But remember, curiosity, problem solving, and innovation. At work, you always have a series of problems. That is what we're most of the time. That's how I feel my job is. I'm a problem solver. I like to innovate, but usually the innovation comes from the problem that I need to overcome or go around or change, right? So these are all things that was a weird camera angle, wasn't it? I'm looking for a tallow. Man, I'm going through a lot of tallow. This is animal fat. It's not gonna do it. I need suet. Suet? See how I'm doing a little organization while I'm here? Why not? There we go. I don't think I have anything here, so let's... little lag. Yeah, that kind of sucked. Alright, so I have food over this way. That's not food. That's food. I'm trying to think if I have any suet in my boxes. This is lard. What's that? Pear stew. What's that then? Hello? Take it. And I already showed that one. That's that. What's that? Blackberry, red currant, blackberry. Here we go. Might as well top it off while I'm here, right? I think there's another one over here. I gotta get this organized a little bit better. There's suet. I don't think I have food out here. Oh, maybe. Down here? Oh, that's plants. No food. Really? Do I have any in here? I do. That should give me enough valor for now. Wow.
That was just a myriad of spitting sickness. Sorry about that.
All right. Oh, no. Don't need that yet. I need that. There we go. Might as well craft all of it. I'll put it in one of the bins. All right. So how do we apply the creativity? Well, adaptability and critical thinking. And this channel is born off the fact that critical thinking is what you need to do. We need to bring back the age of reason. We need to bring back logical thinking. Look at fallacies as false. Acknowledge them. Accept them. Acknowledge that we may be wrong and accept them. All of this is part of life. It's part of our human evolution. But for some reason, in the last 20 years, I feel not everybody is sharing or is not on the same boat. Right? We're traveling different areas of the ocean, which tends to happen time to time. But if we want a society that we want to live in, one that's fair, one that's just, one that where our beliefs can align, or even be shared, or heck, be tolerated. This is the critical thinking is the paramount pinnacle of what we need to do. Everybody has an agenda, especially today for some reason. I can't turn on any news network that doesn't have some type of slant or misinformation. And I'll say I hate that word, but information, I'll say it this way. Information that's incomplete, or they steer you knowingly in a direct line from where you want to go to where you meaning I might say somebody is lying, or let me say the mainstream media might say somebody's lying because of a headline, but by the second paragraph they're like they're not lying, this is actually true, but the headline is damning, if at minimum, at best it's damning. Actually, I should say it that way. So critically thinking, applying creativity in life is very, very difficult. I'm trying to think where I am with the silhouette in here. Down. Oh, over here. I'll put it there. There. I'll put the animal fat here. Kind of organize this a little bit, because I'm going to the 16s. Here. Here. Screw that up. I'm sorry. I can put put that here. There. Problem solved. No, we can do it there. Okay, cool. All right, let's keep making. All right. Wow. Jeez. That'll might be 2 levels, depending if I go truly soon. All right. Let's see. So let's just jump into, because creativity is kind of a whole podcast, but let's ask the question in the chat. What's the most creative problem you've solved in-game or in real life? All right, let's talk about community formation in MMOs. Why do players form communities is the question, right? Shared goals, mutual support, social bonds, and a sense of belonging in virtual spaces. I would say that works outside as well. Well, what are the tools for community building? In-game systems like guilds, chats, and events facilitate these connections. Events, not so much, because I honestly I don't participate in server-wide events a lot of times. Throne and Liberty did a couple, and I was like, I'll deal with you to see what they're like, but it really didn't foster community because you were running around. What's going on? There we go. You were running around. You couldn't talk to anybody. One of the things I've always said in MMOs would be the voice of, if somebody walked up to me, which they are, I don't know who that was. I don't. Why did they walk behind me? Jersey? Thanks, Jersey. I don't know why he walked behind me. Just using my house, I guess. But I could have said something to him, like, hey, Jersey, what's going on? Why are you running through my house? We could have had a conversation. We could have started a conversation. Those are the types of chats that would build community. The chat that you see open right now is good, but we have to stop. Type. Like, I could type while I'm crafting, so that thumbs up to the developers there. In a lot of different how you form communities in other instances within Pax Dei, especially is the clans or guild. They call them guilds, but they're I should say they call them clans. I call them guilds. Guilds. I want to correct the record. They're clans. Now the clans, you can certainly build those communities. What is the... All right, weird. Anyway, so part of the building community or the tools for building community are directly the responsibility directly lies with the leaders of the guild and the players of the guild. The player could be a representative of the clan. Excuse me. God. Different games, right? But the point of building a community is to ensure that we all have ties to the land around us or to the world around us. Same with communities today. We have different communities though, right? We have the online community, we have the Pax Dei community, I have the EVE Online community, I have, some people have Instagram, some people have Snapchat, some people have X. These are all different communities for sure. How we attend the community is part of the formation of what we want to make. So in MMOs, most people, I'd say like 80-85% of the people are really nice. They want a nice, livable space. We don't want to be in a position where we're terrorizing other players or bullying other players. A lot of the communities I've built and have been in not only shun bullies, but actively will remove bullies from the community. And a bully could be simply somebody who continues to take a resource knowing that somebody else needs the resource, even though They may not need a resource. They may need the resource, but they don't talk to the person. Again, human connection. We need to talk to people and say, hey, I know I took that resource from you, but I'm going to use it for this, and I'll leave it alone for a little bit so you can use it. But point being is the resource, the communication is the important part, right? Let's see, what else can we talk about for the last, I think, 10 minutes? I'm looking at my timer. Yeah, we have about 5-10 minutes, I think. But part of this gaming community is effective leadership styles, right? Wow. I was looking off screen and I ran like halfway down the coast. Awesome. All right. So balancing authority with collaboration in a clan leadership. Well, authority and collaboration, or authority in an MMO, is given freely. It's not It's not at the point of a spear or a sword. There's in Pax Dei. There's no way for a clan leader to be like, if you don't do it, I'm going to hit you, because there is no hitting in the PvE areas. You have to go to the PvP. And you journey to the PvP areas, and it's a treacherous journey, by the way. But what I'm trying to state is, with authority, you have to have power plus a means of executing that power. Not a good way to look at it, right? Finally got up to 20. Woo. I'm just gonna keep going. But so balancing authority with collaboration and guild or clan leadership, it's not really a good way to look at it. In the real world, effective leadership styles are usually servant leadership styles or transactional leadership styles to a point. There's different styles, and what I don't want everybody to key on is this particular leadership style, because sometimes people will use different styles depending on the situation. Sometimes there will be one that bubbles up more often than not, so you can generalize somebody has a leadership style. But to be fair, people really use different leadership styles depending on where they are, who they're talking to, what the situation is. There's a lot of different ways. The authoritarian leadership style is great for the military in combat situations, not so great in peacetime situations. If you need something done, there's better ways than the authoritarian way of doing stuff. This is what I mean, right? So as a leader, you want to have this toolbox of leadership styles. You don't want to, you might gravitate to one over another. However, for the most part, you'll want that toolbox open to you so you can use the right tool at the right time. And this is just a toolbox, like AI. AI is a toolbox. Encouraging participation, resolving conflicts. Sometimes people have conflicts. A good leader will, maybe in an MMO, it's a little bit different, but maybe they take them to a Discord channel and let's talk it out. What's going on? Why are we mad at each other? Once we identify that, there might be a consideration of one leaving the clan and one not leaving the clan. It could be as simple as that, right? So I don't want you to think that the resolution is all sunshine and roses, because it might not be. There might be where the happiness of somebody in a game might be that person leaving the clan and going to another area, or just not interacting with those people anymore. There's no real way of disciplining, other than somebody leaving the clan, and that's about it. Because it honestly, a punitive damage of punitive meaning you have to collect this many, you have to be a gatherer for us. See ya, I'm out. It's not fun for me. If you didn't like me that much, why would you, if I did something wrong, and this is up to the person, they got to be reflective. Everybody needs to be reflective and contemplative about their situation, about being right or wrong. It's okay to be wrong. You just got to acknowledge it so you don't have that bumper every time you're talking in a situation. And if somebody can't get over the fact that you've already capitulated that you're wrong, then it might be time to leave, because that person, either that person leaves or you leave. And depending on the situation, you might want to leave just because it's easier in an MMO. In life, it's not always about easy. Especially at work, because people normally don't have the option of being like, yeah, I could leave work because this person is really, I'm mad at this person, but I'm out, I'm gone. It's not realistic, especially in smaller companies. So as a leader, you'll see somebody getting withdrawn or removed from the social aspect of the office. And when you see this, you want to have the conversation, not a conversation that is drilling in they're responsible or pointing the finger. Say, hey, I noticed this. Is there something going on? And be genuinely concerned. Use tones that are genuinely inquisitive. Don't think, don't even sit behind your desk as you talk over your desk at them, right? If you have desks. Take them to the cafeteria or outside. Sit beside them, equal eye level with them. Don't stand above them. If they're standing, that's fine. But you want to be engaged, leaning forward. You want to. Your body language you want them to realize that you're concerned. You might not be able to do anything, and depending on what is said, you could say that to them. You say, look, I can't do anything on that. Or what would you like me to do? And if they say something unreasonable, say, look, I can't do that because of these reasons. But give them reasons. Don't just provide a no. Very important. So guild management or clan management will mirror workplace and organizational management. Why? Because aside from violence, right? Workplace leadership is with the caveat of somebody could just leave and never come back. You don't want them to do that, especially if they're enjoying the MMO. If they're not enjoying the MMO, then okay, then they have reason to do that. But if at work, it's a totally different aspect, right? It's completely different. It's a different vein, especially when you're looking at because hey, it's a real world. People have a job, and it's hard to move jobs. It just is. One of the questions the new job, will ask in an interview, why do you want this job? Why are you moving from your current position? Now you don't have to tell them why, but you have to give them a good reason or a decent. Maybe you throw it back to them and say, look, I really want this job because it interests me. Maybe you don't even mention the fact that your current job is less than par. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind as you're having these conversations. Always look for different scenarios or different ways of looking at the positive and turning the conversation or guiding the conversation to where you want the outcome to be, where you have your answer. Let's see. Let's go with this as a question in the comments section. And I'll say for Pax Dei, I'll put clan leadership. So, what is the worst clan leadership experience you've had? What's the best? Yeah, let's say what's the best. Now we have it. You can definitely look at it in different aspects, but how did I start running? But these are all things I think about during the day. I bring them up in the podcast because it interests me, and I look for feedback. And I think everybody, I am hoping I can influence people to be better, to be the better version of themselves. Not to be better for me, not to be better for, random person Y. I'm trying to be better for yourself. There's no reason why you can't be. All right. With all that said, let's see. I think we've gone over a lot. We've did some advanced strategy, some motivational insights, hopefully. Community building tips that we've discussed in this episode. So definitely like, comment, subscribe. It gives me a little bit of feedback where we want to have these conversations. Hopefully I am reaching a good amount of people. Thank you for joining me if you're here again. And I hope that in the comment section is a positive zone. So if somebody starts down that negative path, I'm going to try to ask them why. And then if I can't turn them back to the positive, then I'll probably delete the comment. Nobody is to bully anybody in the comments, please. It's not what it's there for. So next time, we might explore psychology of storytelling in MMOs and narrative design shapes players' experiences and how narrative design shapes player experiences. There's a lot to go over, guys, ladies and gentlemen. But have fun. The big thing is to have fun. Be at peace. Have contentment. With that said, final thought. Motivation sparks action. Strategy drives success. And creativity makes it all meaningful. What will you achieve next? In Pax Dei or in life? Put it in the comment section. I'm curious. With all that said, I do have some videos out. Go ahead and check them out on my YouTube channel, and I did put them on my X channel. I will be writing. I keep saying this every day, but little steps, right? Little steps. I'm going to figure out a topic to write an article on in LinkedIn and post it for the new year. I am also working on a new video for Groove Through Love, a fun song. I thought it'll be fun. And hopefully I can get the video and AI to cooperate with the AI video prompts. I hope you have a great week, a great start of the year. And don't let anybody pull you down to negative. Remember, little bites, little achievements through the day will build a monumental success at the end of the day. Or the end of the week, or the end of the month. It doesn't matter the timing. Your timeline is not anybody else's time. So keep that in mind as we go through this new year. And if you want to contact me, I'm more than happy to talk. So please reach out. X, LinkedIn, or YouTube. I probably eventually will bring these to Rumble. I'm just not sure how I'm going to do that. So I'm thinking it's a little rung on my ladder, but I'm thinking about how I'm going to do it. As always, be kind to one another. Be kind to yourself. Positive thinking. Acknowledge the negative.
and then move it into the positive. And be safe, everybody. We'll see you next time.
With every step, a lesson learned. From fire's heat to the fields I've turned. The blade and bow, the forge and flame. I sharpen my skills, I play the game. Each day brings a challenge I must face. I train my hands with careful grace. From alchemy's art to the hunter's way, I'll find the strength to seize the day. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. From the herbs I find to the iron I mold, each lesson learned is a story told. The stars above, they guide my hand. As I hold my craft, I take my stand. In the quiet woods, in the mountains chill, I push myself, I shape my will. With each new tool and every lore, I'm stronger now than I was before. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. The road is long, but I won't turn back. The lessons I learned keep me on track. With each new skill, the stronger I grow. In the face of the storm, I let my courage show. I've tasted defeat, I felt the sting, but I rise again with each new spring. For knowledge is power, and wisdom the key. I'm forging my path, I'm breaking free. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight.